The 2020 Kia Soul ends up at the core of the developing subcompact hybrid section, offering a convincing mix of room, esteem and style. It wasn't generally that way, in any case. Presently in its third era, the Soul was at one time a square-shaped crackpot with hardly any one type to its logical counterpart rivals. Today, the subcompact hybrid fragment has successfully been developed around it, yet regardless of this challenge, it stays a standout amongst the most characterful and balanced decisions. The Soul is all new and speaks to the third-age model, yet it pursues a similar effective equation as its forerunners. Its trademark extents have been kept up, and separated from more freight limit and a couple of additional crawls in by and large length. Its measurements all around are predictable. Be that as it may, its styling has been modified. Note the wraparound LED taillights, the Kia grille that has been terribly expanded and moved to the lower guard, and the dainty cut of lighting above, and the lodge includes another, progressively firm structure that appears to wrap behind the dashboard from way to entryway. It's very Jaguar. The 2020 Soul likewise presents two new models, the more toughish, hybrid-like Soul X line, and the energetic GT line, which is the best way to get the groundbreaking turbocharged motor overhaul. Significantly, efficiency has improved no matter how you look at it, to some extent because of another CVT transmission. The Soul is all new and speaks to the third-age model, yet it pursues a similar effective equation as its ancestors. Its trademark extents have been kept up, and separated from more freight limit and a couple of additional crawls in by and large length. Its measurements all around are steady. The 2020 Soul additionally presents two new models, the more toughish, hybrid-like Soul X line, and the lively GT line, which is the best way to get the groundbreaking turbocharged motor overhaul. Critically, mileage has improved no matter how you look at it, to a limited extent on account of another CVT transmission. The 2020 Kia Soul has comparable measurements to subcompact hybrids like the Honda HR-V, Nissan Kicks, Jeep Renegade, and particularly its precisely related cousin, the Hyundai Kona. Its tallness and body shape loan it more traveler and load room than most. Be that as it may, backseat legroom obscures most contenders by a significant edge, making it undeniably bound to convey four full-sized grown-ups on board. Our 5-foot 10-inch tester figured out how to fit behind his seating position. Load volume behind the raised rearward sitting arrangement can be among the class best, yet accomplishing its cited limit of 24.2 cubic feet expects you to bring down the floorboard to a point beneath the lift-over tallness. You don't need to do that in the payload-conveying Champion Kicks and HR-V, which have similar freight limit on paper. With the floor in its upper position, freight limit behind the rearward sitting arrangements is an apparently unremarkable 18.7 cubic feet. However, the Soul's square-shaped shape makes it unmistakably more helpful than a swoopier vehicle like the Toyota CHR. Each of the 2020 Soul trim dimensions comes standard with the equivalent 2.0-liter 4-chamber motor that produces 147 cull and 132 pound-feet of torque, an unobtrusive number yet average for the subcompact hybrid section. A 6-speed manual is standard on the base LX, while a ceaselessly factor-programmed transmission, CVT, is discretionary on the trim and standard on all others. Each Soul is front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive isn't accessible. Discretionary on the GT line is a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-chamber that produces 201 horsepower and 195 pounds-to-foot of torque. That is an incredible sum for this portion, besting even its 175 horsepower Hyundai Kona cousin. This motor is combined to a 7-speed double-grasp computerized manual. Efficiency is 27 miles per gallon city, 33 miles per gallon roadway and 30 miles per gallon joined for the base motor with the CVT. Staying with the manual lessens mileage by 3 mpg joined. Note that there is additionally the 2020 Kia Soul Electric. It can travel an EPA-evaluated 243 miles on a charge, while experiencing power at a rate of 30 kWh/100 miles. Its yield is 201 pull and 291 pound-feet of torque, which is a monstrous improvement over its Soul EV ancestor. Evaluating for the 2020 Soul begins at $18,485, including a $995 gold charge. It is worked in Gwangju, South Korea. That is for a base LX with the manual transmission, yet choosing the CVT builds the cost to $19,985. Standard hardware on the LX incorporates 16-inch steel wheels, programmed headlights, back protection glass, a tallness movable driver situate, material upholstery, a 60/40 split collapsing secondary lounge, a 7-inch touchscreen, a USB port, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and a 6-speaker sound framework. Keyless passage is an alternative. Redesigning the Soul S trim, $21,285, includes 16-inch compound wheels, an assortment of dynamic security highlights, C-safety segment underneath, updated outside trim and material upholstery, and a front focus armrest with capacity. The Soul X line, $22,485, includes extraordinary styling, interesting 18-inch haggles rails to make a progressively rough appearance. It likewise includes fog lights and a cowhide-wrapped controlling wheel. It loses a portion of the S-trim's dynamic well-being highlights. The Soul X, $23,680.